Greetings YouTube. Today we're looking at my new Urrea Toolbox. I think I pronounced that right. It's U-R-R-E-A, but it's pronounced Urrea. I think I got that roll right. And this is a metal box, 14 by 6 square. And the reason I picked it up is to replace the toolbox I'm currently using at work, which is 14 inches. It is 6 foot wide at the widest because it tapers. And it's only 4.5 inches deep. And I picked that one up years ago from Sears, back when we had a Sears in my town. We don't have one anymore. For like $8. It was around Christmas time, I think. And it served me well, but the problem is that the hinges are just snap hinges. So the lid of that toolbox just snaps in this way to the toolbox. So if you open it up vigorously, which I've been known to do, the top can just pop right off. It's really annoying, and I've actually gone to lift the toolbox up and had one of the two hinges in the back not be properly connected. So that was a bad thing. So I decided I would get one that's a little bit bigger, because it's a 6-inch square. It has a little bit better designed interior space, and that I will be able to modify for my uses, my personal use. So overall, the box is, again, it's steel. Get a nice clasp in the front, designed to handle a lock. I just use a carabiner at work, just to hold it closed while I'm going from point A to point B. I keep this in a locker, or will be keeping it in a locker, which has a lock on it, so I don't need to put a lock on my toolbox. I just like to have something holding it closed, so while I'm walking around, because sometimes you have to go from one section of my company to the other, and inside the building it's very large, literally like the size of 3 aircraft hangars attached to each other. So I like to have some kind of security. So that's a good thing for me. Nice, strong, positive clasp. Good clunk there. I quite like it. But this was the big seller. This hinge right here. This hinge is not going to fall open when I open the lid. So I'm very happy about that. So I like the color and everything. Let me show you the interior space. Make a mess on my bench, which is always a mess, so that's not much of a stretch. So it has a single tray in the top, which is also steel. It's one open space, and then you're into the bottom, which currently has some stuff in it, which I use to bring downstairs to get from up my home up in the 2nd floor down here into the basement. Because I live in an apartment building, or I own the apartment building, and I do not have access directly from where I live into the basement. So sometimes I have to lug things from point A to point B, and I thought to myself, since I'm going to come downstairs to modify my toolbox, why don't I use it to transport things? So the tray is decent. You do have to use one hand to hook it like that, or 2 hands if you want to go straight up. That's one of the things I'll be changing in the very near future. The clasp at the top is held in by 2 rivets, as are 4 rivets, and as is the latch, which is held in place by 3, and this is held in by 3 as well. So everything is nice and secure when that is concerned. Now the only thing I really had about it is that the finish is not the best. Like that right there is purely cosmetic, does not bother me at all, but this right there, that's sharp. That's sitting proud. That's a good 1/8 inch, almost an 1/8 inch. That's quite significant. That's coming off. Don't worry about it. And I think there was another one on the back. I saw it was this little one there. There's another one somewhere around here I noticed as well. So I'm not really thrilled about the finish on the surface. Now this down here could just be a lump of paint, I'm not sure, but this obviously is part of it's steel, so that's part of when they were actually producing the item, and nobody caught that, which is disturbing. And I picked this up off of Zorro Tools, Z-O-R-O, a place that I have dealt with in the past, and I've never had a major issue with them. The problem with this order, however, is I guess they were getting them from another source, and then they're passing them on to me, and I don't have a problem with that, because I looked online and found out that if I got these directly from a place in San Antonio, I would have paid $42 for it. Whereas when I went through Zorro Tools, I paid $31, and that's shipping included. So I got a much better deal. So I was willing to do that. The problem is that there was a lot of time. I placed this order, I think, a couple of days after Valentine's Day, and I didn't get it until April 17th. That's a big span of time. That's 2 months of time to get this toolbox. Not real thrilled about that, but I'm glad it's here, and now I am going to do a modification to it, and if I remember, I will tack on the section at the end showing off the modifications I have made to it to make it a little bit more usable to me at work. So overall, I like the design. It's a nice solid construction. I like that. I'm just not thrilled with the finish. And I can fix that myself in this burr. And I don't care about that little one in the front. I really don't. It will have no effect on my use of this tool at all. So, hope that you found this useful. And tell me if you have ever purchased any Urrea tools. And if you have, what have been your experiences? And I remembered to shoot the section where I showed you how I modified the toolbox. So again, the outside looks exactly the same. We open this up, and the tray is completely different. So I have a piece of steel square stock tubing in here now as a handle. I originally had thought of using aluminum because the dividers I put in here are aluminum, but the aluminum tubing is like twice the cost of the steel tubing. And so I was like, no way, man, I'm not going to do that. I'll just buy some steel tubing, and I can use the excess piece because it was 36 inches long. I'll put that into a weapons build. For those that may not watch my weapon build videos, I build weapons as a hobby. And look under crafting by Tetsubo, and you'll see my weapon builds, or go to my DeviantArt page, and you'll see the things I build there. But so that other piece will end up in a weapons build, and this piece is an awesome handle, and it fits in here perfectly. I have the divider here. Let's turn this around for you. This divider is set off at off-center so that my hand does fit under here quite comfortably, which is quite nice. Now this divider here is just creating 3 compartments because I do have some small objects that I keep in my toolbox, and I like to keep them differentiated, so this will allow me to do that. Then again, that whole section here is much, much bigger than in my previous toolbox. And one of the reasons for that is that it has a handle as well, but under the handle is a hole. That hole takes up a good 20% of the tray, which is unusable space. Not to mention, things from the top of the tray fall through the hole into the bottom of my toolbox, which is frustrating when you're searching in this section for something and you can't find it because it's fallen into the bottom. I'll never have that problem again. And on this section, the divider didn't go in quite perfectly. That rivet didn't pull in clean, but it was kind of hard. I can't watch it while I'm pulling it in from the outside, so you get what you get. But that divider is going to make it making me make storing some of the things I use at work much easier to do. So yeah, really quite happy with this. So I hope that you have enjoyed seeing my new Urrea toolbox, and tell me again if you've ever purchased a product from the company and what do you think.